Hello, hello, hello. Just gonna be talking about zenless zone 0 2.1. The update and also other things that also want to talk about. Okay. The 2.1 story. I really like it. Great story. Definitely far more better than the 2.0, but it's to be expected to be honest since 2.0 is more like an introduction. I like the introduction like to the season 2 and all, but but it's very much expected for the upcoming chapters to be far more better, I think. And they are setting up like many stuff like they may set up in the story. I cannot wait to see how it'll go, how it will go, how will it end, I guess. So yes, I'm very interested. The spookshot, the spookshot fashion, I really like them. As usual, and Manado. I like Yuzua and Manado like dynamic as an user dynamic. The only one I haven't like explored too much, I guess, the As and Manado. I guess I mean they have still like interaction, but it's not to the level like Yuzua and Manado because both of them are so funny. And yeah, but I really like as an user also their relationship. They cool. So yeah, I like how there's I guess more faction. I guess like more involved with the story. Kinda the Yonkai Summit, the Oval Squad, and other people too. Like, not really other people, more like no, not that it was Damien. We see Damien and also a new character that is Isolde. Pretty cool, but it doesn't take like the focus out of the main faction that we are seeing, and that is Pushak. I like it because I like how they're doing with the story right now. Right now, with how they're making it far more like fashion interactive, I guess, with more. I hope they do that for the upcoming chapters because I like it. Even though they have like little appearance, but it's still like seeing them. Okay, the I guess pretty her backstory and now is pretty sad. So I'm guessing it's very curious about Yuzua right now with her body or blood. I forgot why. It's basically like basically she has like an immunity to corruption. If I remember right, she was I guess a failed experiment. Like now that we see like more of I guess tops like they're because exaltus and tops are probably gonna be our main antagonists throughout the whole game, probably, unless they wanna introduce new groups, I guess. But yeah, very curious right now. Another thing that, oh yeah, another sequence that I like in the 2.1 story is when we play them, when you play them, there's like the venting, like the vents section. I really thought that was gonna be like a jump scares or something. Was I was shocked. Like what the fuck? Suddenly, like a first person view. Like I was spooked. I like that. I like how they did that. Hopefully, they gonna try. I guess more. Like hope they try. I guess more creative stuff in the future. Kind of like I really like that. Very cool. But I wish there was more of it. But it's what it is. But yeah, I'm also glad that uh the miasmic fiend or Yijiang, the ethereal, is not it's not Spook Shack is not the one who ends it or ends it, or I guess it's just that Yijiang herself is the one who kills it or ending it. But I feel like there's gonna be still more of them. I guess I don't know. I feel like there's something I guess missing. I guess the Tijuan we haven't. I don't know what's her opinion with them getting her sister being like an ethereal, not real ethereal, more like some kind of miasmic memory or something. I'm very curious about the miasma stuff and all that. Very very curious. So yeah, the boss music for the miasmic theme, I really really like that. I think it's one of my favorites. And the other one being the bringer, like the first like part of the bringer fight. That's cool. And right now, y- the miasmic theme boss music was so cool. I also like the fight. It's cool. But I guess it's gonna be a bit annoying in that result, but it's what it is. My only complaints right now is just the dialogue. You know how the dialect text being like slow as fuck. It's one of my annoying part, the most annoying thing, I guess. It's been happening. It's been happening many chapters, many versions ago, and I really hate that. But I understand what they're trying to do. If I remember right, they're mentioning like how so 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 when you do like the dialogue, so it doesn't appear like the black square covering like your screen when there's dialogue in it. I understand like what their purpose, but I wish it was a little bit more far more faster, I guess. Think that's just it's like it should be far more faster because when Mana was first showcased like his animation, uh, his animation was cool, but I was a bit afraid that he is gonna, ends, the enemy. So I was just running around in a circle waiting for, the dialogue. I was kind of scared, but at least Manalo it doesn't. Manalo doesn't like Manalo text doesn't register it being like killing. So it's nice, similar to like a bamboo, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, the other factions like the youngest summit stuff, but but I'm gonna focus more on the Obel and Isolde. The Obel Scott. It's so fucking cool, dude. The robot design is so cool. I've seen the marking, but I'm just gonna talk about the robot first. C is so cool, looking like looks so cool in game, so fucking badass. I was planning to skip to get Orpheus, but the more and more the days pass, especially seeing the drip marketing, I cannot help it. So I'm definitely pulling. I'm a bit sad that I have to pull two banners is what it is, I guess, but at least I have enough pulls. Hopefully I have a skip batch. Hopefully because I've been pretty much drained from all the patch right now. Hopefully, hopefully I have a skip batch. But yeah, see this looks cool. And seeing Orpheus. Ooh, I like her design in game. I mean, we've seen her design, but I'm very curious about their relationship. Orpheus, Magus, and Isolde. They seem to be together a lot. When we see them like in game, we see them in game. We see they are together talking, yada yada. And also when in the end part of the story, seeing like a final comic stuff, we see Orpheus and Magus and Isolde. I wonder what's their relationship is. I'm very very curious. I mean, their relationship seems to be higher ranks in the military, yada yada. But yeah, I'm very curious about how they'll interact with each other. The dynamic. I'm very curious. Isolde design is so fucking sick. If she ever becomes playable, I am definitely pulling her. But I've seen the lease. I've seen the lease where I don't know. I still feel, skeptical, I guess. I have doubts. Unless I see it, in game or in the story, or sometimes in the live stream where sometimes you can see like spoilery stuff, but yeah, unless I see it in game, I'm still a bit iffy on what I've seen, in the least. So yeah, hopefully, just hopefully. I'm very hopeful right now. So yeah, the end credits with Yes She Won. So yeah, Yes She Won talks about him and her sister, and that's very interesting. Think her name is Ye Xiongguang. That's the one we felt like I remember she Yufu talks about in her test event or quality time stuff, or maybe in when we do an invitation agent invitation, we see Yufu talks about Ye Xiongguang. Now I'm very curious about that. Ye Xiongguang is supposed to be like very very talented. And compared to Yeshiwan, the Yeshi Shuwang is far more talented. Her little sister. So so she's supposed to be the the girl we see and the season 2 preview on the on the last part. Season 2 preview. There's an unknown mysterious young Kisame girl. I'm guessing that's her. So yes, but another thing they are talking about is being like the Qingming sword has this new user or guess master. Hmm, that's something I'm very very I don't know curious about since I feel like Yi Juan, seeing as how in that 2.0 story with how I will not make any sacrifices or some shit. Yi Juan has the mentality of not making any sacrifices, and no way she's gonna lend the sword to someone unless that someone is like from a powerful family, kind of like the Hoshimi family, or or the character is super super strong, like able to counteract the Jingming sword like side effects. You know what I mean? So I'm very curious about that. And what's the deal with the Jingming sword right now? And what's the deal with Yashunguang? Because there's a video in the Zenless Zone Zero channel. It's called behind the combat design of Zenless Zone Zero Part One, and they said they are making two agents. Not so yeah. The two agents is one is a super powerful unfilled DPS. His martial art skills is off the chart. He usually looks kind and gentle. Different side when angry. So I'm guessing that's gonna be Yeshi one, and no way it's Damien, no way it's Manado, since the character's supposed to be martial art. Looks kind of gentle. I mean, Manado is nice and gentle, but his look is very scary. You know what I mean? Like his character archetype is basically the gentle giant, kind of like how Ben Bigger is, like scary on the outside, but kind on the inside. And yeah, so no way it's Manado, and no way it's Damien. Because ain't no way Damien has martial arts skills. I mean, he probably can fight, but no way. Looks kind and gentle doesn't fit Damien at all. So yeah, it's definitely Yeshi one. Powerful unfilled DPS. I'm very curious about that. I'm guessing he's gonna probably runs run. He's probably gonna be running same bicycle, with her sister. Since the second agent in the video, they talk about the agent uses a sword as a weapon, a really big sword, big sword, 3 times its user height. Sword can't unleash its potential yet, but once it does, it'll transfer into a weapon of mass destruction. There are two people that fits the bill. The one we see in the season 2 preview, there's a small bunny girl. Her name is Yao, I think. And the second one is Ye Wang. The Yao, this, I don't know, I've seen, I'm right now seeing her image, the image. The sword, I don't know, doesn't really that look that big. I mean, it's big, but 3 times bigger. I don't know. Doesn't look like sword, more like a cleaver, I guess. I guess we'll see, like in terms like the model. And Ye Guang. I don't know if Ye Guang is herself is tiny because in usual animated short film, we see the sword. Does it look that big? The Qing sword doesn't look that big unless Ye Guang like is tiny as hell. But I don't know. Or maybe they're talking about a new character that's very different from those three. But I don't know. I guess we'll see, to be honest. Oh yeah, another thing that I forgot to talk about, Damien. Damien Blackwood is cool. He's a very interesting character. I wonder on what his relationship with Zhao. Very curious on that. It's definitely one of the more reasonable like tops member. He's one of the, I guess, far more nicer, I guess. I mean, he's kind of an asshole, but not. He can be reasoned with at least. Okay, I think that's all I want to talk about 3.1 stuff, I guess. The summer event. The summer event is pretty cool. I like the mini games. I like the Alice and usual stuff. Pretty cool. It's fun event. I like that because it's very similar to, I guess, Cuban Temple and Cheesetopia, where you kind of like rebuild a place, I guess. It's cool, like seeing, I guess, progress, I guess. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, the place itself is already there, but I don't know, I like, I guess, like a progressive like stuff, I guess. Like kingdom building like stuff. Not really kingdom building, more like place building, I guess. It's cool. Seeing like progression and stuff like that. Pretty cool. I like the fishing mini game is far more nicer compared to, the last one. Because we have ferry that because we have ferry out of fishing for us. That's nice. In usual like story quest in uh the summer event, we see there's seems to be like a mermaid, an incident of a mermaid. So with that being the case, I wonder if they're gonna make a playable mermaid. That'd be so cool. I mean, it'll depend, on the design if I wanna pull a mermaid, but I'm very curious because mermaids seems to be they seem to be talking about how it's mythical, I guess. Like one of a like like a myth, you know what I mean? So I'm very curious about that. Very, very curious. Unless maybe a hallucination, but I kinda doubt that. But we'll see, to be honest. In the summer event, we see Chinatsu. She's one of the angels of delusion. It's cool seeing her designs in game. Like I like the design, pretty cool. But it's not but it's definitely not mine. I guess something that I probably won't pull, but pretty cool design. Pretty cool design. The only designs in the Angels of Delusion that I like, I guess, is the robot because it seems the robot seems to have like two models. One's where it's a robot, and one is where I guess like feet. Yes, it's like human like. It seems to be like VTuber stuff. I'm very curious how they'll incorporate that. I guess when fighting. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's. Oh yeah, third thing I'm very good find very interesting is the Asha doesn't seem to know her, Be- and that's makes me perplexed. I guess since in 1.3 when we first like meet Astra when she was in Bangu form as Snap, she's helping a friend that's an intelligent construct, and in one of the arts we see a very similar headpiece to one of the members of the Angels of Delusions, and it's the robot. So I'm surprised that she isn't familiar with them. I mean, she probably knows, but like on no to the own basis. Like I'm very curious about that since she seems to not know Chinatsu, but in 1.3 it seems I don't know, or maybe they're just reusing like art. I guess I don't know. Maybe we'll see what's they finally like. We'll see what when we'll see what's in the story. But yeah, the drip marketing. I like design. I like the design of both of them. I mean, I feel like the design since we see the season 2 preview. The seed was very surprising. I mean, I don't really care too much. Oh my god, it's a girl. What? Don't give a fuck. But oh, also in that drip, damn, they show feet. Goddamn, t- goddamn, seeing like Quentin Tarantino stuff. Cause I remember in Glorious Bastards, like that was a wild scene, like wild scene, very interesting scene. Actually, I maybe I'm talking, or maybe another movie, I guess, but very interesting stuff. I mean, I don't really care too much if they do the feet fetish stuff, but it's, I don't really care too much. I'll still definitely pull for her. I designed you. Very cute. Very cute. And Orpheus is, for me, as must pull. She is one of my anticipated, like, character with Kijuan and Orpheus. Those two were my my target. With Yuzua and Seed, finally, like, with Yuzua and Seed, seeing as how they achieved them in game the design. So I'm probably so yeah. Those are those Yuzua and Seed was not on my radar. They're not even on my radar, but 50-50 if I like design, in game. And right now, since I pull Yuzua, I got lucky with it being M1. And with Seed seeing it now in game, I'm definitely pulling. So yeah, obvious. I like her design very much. Something I'm very very curious about is Orpheus is a Greek name, and the agent record is Orphe Magnuson. That's very interesting since her last names sounds Scandinavian, like Nordic like names where they have like son or daughter, I guess like in their like last name. It's named after, a parent have, either a daughter or son, you know what I mean? And very curious about that. And also very curious about Maggie's too on what's her deal is. I'm also very excited for, their combat. I've seen, I guess, the animation leak, but can ignore it be- because I want to see it in game since in game there's gonna be like the sound design is probably gonna be like very very different. Like you finally feel like the oof of the attack. Can't wait to finally 2.2 is my most. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for that version. Very very curious. Sadly, in 2.1, there's a 1 week plus. So instead of 6 weeks, it's now 7 weeks. But yeah, I can wait. Is what is. Something I'm very curious about is that team composition seems to be double attack with Orpheus seems to be like a sub DPS. I like that design. If it's for so I'm guessing Orpheus, Seed, and Trigger. That's nice. So with that team being Astra free, finally seeing more of that with Yuzo being alternative to Anomaly with Hugo being double stun. It's nice not you using Astra every time to be like a bandage for a team. I guess a band aid. So yeah, I like that. I'm very curious about the double attack. And another thing that I wonder if they're gonna revisit is that attacker and anomaly on the same team. Because if I remember right, I've seen the Harumas and Grace Rina, maybe some Yanagi too, I guess. But I've also seen Anton from Balabak was supposed to be with Grace, but his most powerful team is the Anton and Astra, where they use quick assist. That's a very funny stuff I see. That's very funny. Oh yeah, with I guess Orpheus being like a chimera. I wonder if they're gonna do like a dragon type of tyrant. That would be so cool if they're ever gonna do that. Like more like mythical like tyrant stuff. Like kind of like the Oni with the Sokak. Like that's very interesting. My prediction for 2.3 is I guess 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. Since Monado isn't, there. I mean, it's so obvious that Monado is gonna run with them because in season 2 preview, we've already seen, the what we expect to be like the battle with Alice and Yuzua are together when we see the scene, and Orpheus and C are together on the scene. So yeah, with I mean there's Damon and Zhao, but I doubt Damon's gonna be playable. I guess no way he's gonna be an abstract. Maybe he's gonna be Aaron, but no way. But yeah, seeing as Zhao, Ye Guang, and Manado. And also, I think there's Yeshi one in there. If I remember right, them being separated, I'm guessing that Manado is gonna be 2.3 with Manado with Zhao. I'm guessing, and 2.4 is gonna be the youngest summit action. That's gonna be Yeshi one and Yeshun Wang, and 2.5 is gonna be probably the idols. I don't really expect them to be main story, but they're probably gonna be like Astra and stuff, like how Astra is in the story. I mean, I don't think they're probably gonna be like the special episode and stuff like that. Seeing as how probably if they time it, they could do the Chinese New Year stuff like that. So yes, I'm very hyped now. But the only thing I'm very curious about is the idols. Either that one of them is gonna be A rank or three of them is gonna be S rank. So they'll probably have to, split split, the banner. Kinda like how the Lider and Yanagi with the section 6 member with Harumasa and Miyabi was together. And so they'll have to, split Yanagi. And the sons of Caledon, Bernice and Caesar. So Lider is gonna be split for them with it being, Yanagi and Liar. So yes, is it gonna be like at that situation or not? I guess. Oh, another thing I'm very curious about. Let's say Damon's gonna playable, or maybe, or maybe in. Damon's gonna be playable, but as like a move set in Zhao's, like Zhao move set. Something that I'm very I found very interesting is, and the season 2 stuff, when you look at 2.0, 2.1, and 2.2, we always see like a double character, I guess, with Yi Yuan and the Qingming bird, Yu Fu and Hui. And the 2.1, we see Kaminosuke and Izuwa. And the 2.2 would be Sid Senior and Sid Junior, Magus and Orpheus. I find that very interesting, but being double character, like having like a companion character, having like a companion, and it'd be very funny if Damon's like part of our kit. So yeah, it'll be very funny, very funny, I guess. Another thing that I do want to talk about is the possibility of being Astrang Billy. It's so obvious that Billy's gonna be Astrang. I wonder what the design's gonna be leaning towards. Is it gonna be on Starlight Night or there's Biker Pass? So I'm very curious about that. Or maybe they'll mix the both, I guess. And I wonder what his partner is going to be. Either it's gonna be Big Daddy or Monica. So yeah. I mean, I've seen people talk about Monica. Monica. Seen like tons, but no, there are some people talking about like, no way Monica's gonna replay. She cannot fight. Look at Astra, dude. Look at Astra singing in the battle, and you're telling me somehow the Idols faction has like they are trained to fight in hollows. No, the VTuber like band members like Song, the factions are telling you're telling me that they're able to battle hollows and not Malaga. They Actus. Man, that's so bullshit. I mean, we see like how her design is probably going to be since we see like thing poster and stuff in the random play store and in the actual stand. We see how she'll probably look like. I'm guessing blonde. I think I remember right, red dress. She looks like a Caucasian, I guess. So yeah, another thing I'm very curious about is I wonder what is Billy's logo going to be. Is it gonna be like the Caldan or a very like different like logo, kind of like how Sandy is and Jane Doe is with their logo being different from the other fashion members. I mean, Sambi is not really like old squad, but her her additional billion with other other mobile stuff can work, can activate even though not part of the oval squad. So yeah, that's something I'm very curious about. So yeah, another thing I'm very surprised about is solely not being like Porcel Lumix or tops oriented character. I'm surprised that she's military. That's very surprising, I guess. And yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about. Oh yeah, the 2.1 events that I guess I'm most looking forward to. Since I already played the summer event, I guess the bamboo chess, team fight tactics and stuff, the auto chess stuff. I'm very intrigued by that. And also, the event where kind of like a side scroller, kind of like the Liar's Quest, where we play as Liar, but like in like 2D side scroll like fighting game. You know what I mean? Those two are the only event. After that, I'm waiting for the live stream, live stream event, live stream event, the Zenless Zone Zero 2.2 live stream, and waiting for the release of the chapter. Yes, I'm very curious about that. I'm very much testing that 2.4 is probably gonna be the end of season 2. And 2.5 is gonna be at the Chinese New Year, like the idols where they finally release. And yeah.